Miami was a disaster yesterday. Syracuse ends up beating them. Syracuse is trailing 21-0. Most of you have other games to watch. You turn it off. And then someone texts you, like they did me yesterday. I look at the iJosh because I'm at another game, and I say, Syracuse 42-38, Miami must be playing in basketball as well this week. That was my first thought. They must be playing in basketball. They are not, to my knowledge. They did play in football. Syracuse had the audacity to keep competing when they were down 21-0. Shame on Fran Brown and company. And they ended up winning the game, knocking Miami out of the ACC championship game, probably knocking them out of the playoff picture. Although time will tell on that, but they are very much on the outside looking in the odds market right now. This was a disaster. I give it 4 Chalai on the 1 to 5 scale. Ultra entertaining game to watch. But if you are Miami, you're very lucky that Ohio State imploded like they did yesterday, or you'd be front page news for all the wrong reasons, and you should be. You ought to be embarrassed. Winners first on this show, though, so Miami's going to have to wait. Kyle McCord, notably not good enough to play quarterback at Ohio State anymore, proceeds to go 26 of 36 for 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He outplays Cam Ward statistically, and he continues to be, the leading passer in FBS. Jesse, remind me how Ohio State did through the air yesterday. Not good. Okay. Listen, Kyle McCord lost to Michigan as well. I understand what the rebuttal is going to be in the live chat, so spare me. But good for him. Kyle McCord could have gone up to Syracuse and disappeared, like so many of these transfer quarterbacks do, and instead, like Dylan Gabriel, 19,000 miles away in Oregon, they're just shining. So good for them. But when Syracuse defense cashed in that fumble return, they made it 35-28. I actually caught it on the monitor because I ran up the tunnel to a room to watch the game. And when they did that, and the last thing I had seen before that was they're down 21-0, I am thinking to myself, if I were on the Miami sideline, I would be so cottonmouthed right now, I wouldn't even know what to do. Knowing everything that's on the line, knowing how the Georgia Tech game went last year, knowing how it went this year, for that matter, and then knowing, the perception of us is this, which you shouldn't be thinking about during a game, but I am because I'm not in the game. And then the reality is biting us again. Oh, no. And then, yes. Oh, yes, it happens. Miami had a fork in the road. We labeled it as such a month ago. You'll probably remember if you watch the show regularly, I looked and I said, wow, so you've got a Heisman contender at quarterback in Cam Ward. Those guys don't come around too often. Just like Joe Burrow doesn't, just like Jaden Daniels doesn't. So LSU had both of those other guys. Remember Joe Burrow in 2019, Jaden Daniels in 2023. One of those teams ends up becoming good enough defensively. They explode offensively. They go on a legendary run. They win a national championship, one of the best teams of all time. The other one was 2023 LSU. They also had a Heisman winner at quarterback. But the defense, famously, could not stop molasses in December, as Meemaw would say, and they wasted that guy. Miami has wasted Cam Ward this year because defensively they're abysmal. And I don't know enough to sit here and outright question the effort of individual players, but when you watch that yesterday, and I would imagine the All-22 tells a similar story, there are some Syracuse plays where you look and you say, there is no way that's max effort. There's no way. I don't call guys out by name on that because that's not my place to do. But I think any Miami fan who's been watching this team has said that for quite a while. And the thing about it is they struggled in some wins. Virginia Tech struggled defensively. They win. Cal struggled mightily defensively. They win. And you sit there and you think to yourself, okay, you ran through 2 stop signs and didn't get plastered. Hopefully you learn your lesson and you don't have to get in the wreck. They had to get in the wreck. They couldn't learn their lesson. Or maybe they're incapable of it. They had to get in the wreck. And so Syracuse second half, their drives, touchdown, red zone fumble, touchdown, end of game. Miami couldn't get off the field when it mattered in a game they had to have against Syracuse on the road. Defensive staff changes, I think, are imminent there. The quarterback for that team in 2025, Miami's quarterback next year, my guess is not on the roster right now. That is my guess, and that's only me guessing. He very much may be there. But at the same time, understanding who you've got to replace in Cam Ward and understanding there will be no givens defensively next year, even if they make all the staff changes. Right now, Miami, I said they're on the outside looking in. I'm looking at FanDuel's numbers like right now they're in front of me. Miami is plus 820 yes, minus 1,600 no to make the playoff. So odds makers, the betting market thinks there's a lot that has to go right for Miami in order to make the playoff. Now, it's not impossible. It is highly unlikely. They'd be on the outside looking in for me at this point. And frankly, it sounds crazy to say this, probably for the best. That team has no shot of winning a title, and their attention and energy would probably be best served getting a head start on changes, both coaching and roster, like I said with Auburn, to get a head start on 2025. That's the way I view Miami right now. Like there are some teams whose ceiling is far too low to win a title. Miami's one of them. It'd be nice in terms of novelty to make the playoff, but your standard's higher than that around there. You haven't been able to meet it yet. You're not going to do it with this team. Your defense is well below that standard, that the freeze point, if you will. So next up, in many different ways, next up.